You know what genre of movie is my favorite?
What?
Surprise musicals! Woo!
We just saw Smallfoot. It's about a group of Yetis who live up on a mountaintop, and their life is interrupted when...
We find out it's a musical.
No, when a human arises and one person has an encounter, or one Yeti has an encounter with him.
And they find out it's a musical.
And then the village is shooken on their beliefs because
when they find out it's a musical,
they realize that humans are real. And then they go through the whole, like, are humans our friends? Are they not our friends? And there's a human who learns a valuable lesson.
Who learns it's a musical.
In the end, humans and Yetis live in harmony.
Through song.
Yeah, through song. He's right.
So this movie is a musical?
I want to preface by saying that this isn't Boss Baby levels of bad, or Stork's The Good Dinosaur
But it is a musical.
levels of bad.
Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about that. But seriously, why did they not market that it was a musical at all? Like, all the ads I saw were just, it's Channing Tatum, it's Danny DeVito, it's this other person you vaguely recognize. They're in an animated movie. Isn't that wacky? It wasn't like, this is a musical, there is gonna be singing. It's anti-religious.
I feel like they could have made a good trailer out of this. Like, they really could have made it seem interesting and appealing, but instead they were just like, Yeti movie! Snow!
Yeah, there were a lot of times where I completely forgot this was a Warner Brothers movie because it looks identical to Sony. And that being said, I kind of thought that this movie was better than most of the movies Disney has been making lately.
He's not wrong.
If only because the songs in this movie actually move the plot forward and aren't just songs to be songs. Out of everything in this movie, that's what shocked me the most, because when you go in, you're like, oh, this is a musical. Why would they hide that? It must be because it's really bad. And then you just realize, no, these people actually knew what they were doing. They knew more what they were doing than, like, the people who made Frozen.
I feel bad because I feel like this movie's gonna get completely forgotten. And not really, it's not that it's a good movie by any means, or that I want to watch it again.
It's not bad.
Like, I actually got a couple laughs out of it.
Yeah.
And it's a much better kids movie than a lot of the other ones we've seen. Although, man, talk about predictability.
This is probably the most predictable movie that I have ever seen.
And then also talk about hidden messages.
Yeah, well, it starts off and, like, immediately they're talking about these rocks that have rules set on them.
It was like the Ten Commandments. It was like a little Bible video.
And I was just sitting there like, oh, cool, this is going to be anti-religious. It doesn't really become that. It's more just like...
Knowledge is important.
Yes.
Being aware is important. Learning from our history.
And they even have a little bit of, like, controlling information, not allowing that to... Not, like, just accepting things that you read or are told as fact.
Yeah.
And that's also important.
It did touch on a lot of good stuff.
I didn't like any of the characters.
Not even Danny DeVito.
It didn't really sound like him. It clearly
like
was
him.
Danny DeVito, but it just... From what I know of him, it sounded more like him when he was a lot younger.
I feel like here's the problem. Danny DeVito can get pretty short and angry and monsterish and grungy in his voice. And this was like his most happy man voice. In the one time where you would expect him to get a little, like, trash man.
I'm the trash man.
I'm not gonna do it.
I made you smile. I made you laugh.
What did you think of Channing Tatum's performance?
I mean, it was fine. But
yeah, it was fun.
It could have been anybody doing that role, and I wouldn't have known the difference.
But it was Channing Tatum.
Yeah, but if you can't see his abs, is it really him?
Justin Roiland is in this movie.
Yeah.
He has 3 lines.
I only
He plays a
recall
man
2.
named Gary, and he sounds exactly how you would expect Justin Roiland to sound. I don't recall anybody else's name. There was some weird casting. The chief, the guy with all the commandments on him, his voice did not fit him at all.
It was too soothing, and you could tell it was a skinny man's voice, but then the town leader was like this big, tall man.
And he was old and fat.
Yeah.
It needed to be somebody like Mel Brooks, like Drakstad.
Yeah.
Somebody like old and cranky and kind of broken.
I come out, I throw trash all over the ring.
The music is bland and forgettable, except for, I guess, what I would call the villain song, even though what I really liked about this movie is that there wasn't a villain, which never happens in animated films anymore.
Even when he was being painted kind of as a bad guy, you understood what he was doing and why.
And I was so afraid that they were going to go the route where he just ends up being like a cartoonish villain.
Nope, he has no morals and he's just going to be evil now for no reason.
But it was
They
pretty...
didn't do that.
They didn't. It was pretty great. They let the personal conflict actually take over the whole movie. They didn't throw in a twist villain at the end, like Coco.
Yeah, but here's what we really need to ask ourselves. What happens when a tribe of like 100 Yetis start living in harmony with humans in the
In real
Himalayan
life?
mountains? Yeah, because
I mean, it'd probably just be like gorillas.
I mean,
Like
they're
the
clearly
Jane...
more
Is it Jane
sentient.
Austen?
Is sentient the right word? They're clearly more conscious.
So? What are they gonna do? Like,
Get
fly them over to
jobs.
America?
Get jobs and
Why?
then want rights. I don't know.
Well, they would need to learn a language that we could understand first.
Yeah, okay, I guess there's a lot going on there.
There's this thing I really don't like that I just refer to as meme humor. It's when a movie like this just references really, really terrible memes. In this movie, if you remember, like 4 years ago, everybody was rolling on the floor laughing about goats screaming. So in this movie, there are lots of goats, and the goats scream. Also, there's a musical number with a bunch of memes in the background. It's not quite as annoying as something like the Emoji Movie.
Are you?
Please stop putting memes in your movies. By the time the movie comes out, that meme is like 4 years old, and nobody's even gonna remember it.
And it's not cute. Make your own jokes.
Remember when they did that in Central Intelligence?
I only remember The Rock in that entire movie.
Is it because he's the world's most attractive man?
No, I remember him being fat and then being awkward and making friends. And then something about
you remember
Kevin Hart
the
and
CGI
blah, blah,
scene
blah.
where they put his face on a fat person?
Yeah, that is
Okay,
stuck with
we're
me.
not talking about that movie right now.
Never gonna
We're talking
give
about
up,
Smallfoot.
Never gonna give up.
Why is it called Smallfoot?
I already explained this to you.
Okay,
They
but
were
it's obviously a play on Bigfoot.
Yes,
And
because
abominable snowmans are not Bigfoots.
the society...
Yetis are not Bigfoots.
The society...
Look, I get what you're trying to say. I understand where you're coming from. But if they wanted it to be a funny joke that would work, it needed to be Bigfoot. As is, it's just kind of like without purpose. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about Smallfeets? A perfectly average-sized feet.
I don't ever want to watch it again.
Normal-sized foot.
I don't even think I want to recommend it.
Understandably
I'm ending this
proportioned
review before you can get another
foots.
one of those out.
Well, I'm running out of synonyms.
I'm leaving.
I don't recommend this movie. But if you like newer Disney musicals, I bet you'd love it. So
Yeah. If you thought...
do what you will with that information.
It makes me sad that Frozen will always be more popular than something like this.
But Frozen is about women!